The COVID situation, coupled with the recent election, might be causing many of us to be more angry than before. It is important to remember that we are all very similar to each other with only a few small differences. When we overlook those differences, we can better understand each other, forgive each other, and be forgiven ourselves. This is a story of forgiveness. Too many of us are filled with hate. Now, more than 50 years after the war, it's time for us all to learn to forgive. You may remember the 1968 battles in Vietnam that occurred during Tet, the Lunar New Year. In 2008, 40 years after that battle, we were on our way to visit the orphanages that we support in Vietnam, and we stopped in the city of Hue, where we started seeing men and women our age wearing North Vietnamese uniforms. That's the uniform of our old enemy, the NVA. Our guide walked over and asked if they were NVA. They responded, "Vâng," yes. The guide asked if they would like to meet some American soldiers. Of course, they were willing to chat with us. These were the people we fought against. At the end of the day, when we got back to our hotel, we discovered that there were 250 enemy soldiers in the hotel conference room attending their 40-year reunion of the 68 Tet Offensive. Our small group of travelers was outnumbered nearly 20 to 1. The general who had been in command of all the NVA in the area around Hue in 68 was there. He sent 2 majors out to pour drinks for us, and he invited us to join their party. General Nguyen Van Thieu is the guy in white, and I learned the most about healing from this general. In 1968, we both had fire in our eyes, but on this day, our eyes were filled with tears when the general shook my hand and said, "Our country called us, and your country called you. We are just doing our job. Now let's live in peace." None of these guys had a camera, so we sent photos back to them. The general replied with a nice letter of thanks and addressed me as Lord in the letter. I was only a sergeant. Then we were invited to stay at his house the next time we were in town. Although we most likely hated the enemy forces then, today we can certainly respect the individual soldier. Is that attitude any different than the attitude we all should have in order to pull our country together today? The most important and the most difficult thing we can do if we want to have inner peace is to learn how to forgive and allow ourselves to be forgiven. We must always remember we are each responsible for everyone else on this planet.